Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Tuesday, July the 16th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. If you have not been to the website yet, go check it out. A lot of free information on the site that will benefit you if you have an interest in looking at some new strategies and techniques and stuff like that. And also a lot of video archives we have on the site highlighting and showing some of the stuff that we do over here at our firm. Aside from that, let's go ahead and break down the markets here. The Dow was down 32 points today. The Nasdaq was down 9 points, and the S&P 500 was down a little over 6 points. If you take a look at the breadth in the market, we had 3,720 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. We had 2,426 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the Amex. So therefore, breadth was in favor of the bears today, not on a heavy basis, or not a 3-to-1 or 4-to-1, just kind of mixed. Nothing too crazy. We had some pockets of strength in the market in the technology sector, and we also had some weakness in the financials, which played out pretty well, and some weakness in some other stocks out there. Some other energy sector was kind of weak today. The utilities gave back some today, so just a little mixed market today. We did see some selling pressure in the markets today, and we're going to go over that right now. Starting off with the SPY. Starting off with the SPY daily chart, you can see here we closed down 63 cents. All right, closed at 167.52, down 0.37% today. You can see from this big, nice move that we had up from all the way from, say, 157 to 168. We've come a long way, and we come a long way in a choppy fashion. Not saying we're going to roll over right now, but we are watching this key trend line from this. I guess you can take the trend line from, let's see here, from this low to this low right there. All right, then raise it up, and that's going to be a nice little trend line you want to watch. If we consolidate sideways to that trend line and we break, that'll be the time to possibly start looking to get some shorts to start taking profits in some of these names that you guys may be long, or some of these swing trades you guys may be in. For us, we're active traders, so we just evaluate it that morning or that day. But we are keeping a close eye on the markets up here at these levels. You can see we had a nice little move down from these highs, and then we had a little low volume move up in a choppy fashion back up to retest those highs. So you got to be kind of careful when you see something like that, and that's why we're making sure we watch our stocks and our positions closely here. But as far as the levels to watch for tomorrow, remember, we're going to be keeping a close eye on this 167 level here on the SPY. If we break below 167, we have some gap fill action that we could have happen all the way back down towards, I would say, like 165.44. But we also have a nice, decent level of support right here at 166, which lines up with the rising 20-day moving average, exponential and simple moving average right there at 166. That would be a nice little solid level to work off of. If we break over today's highs and yesterday's highs around this 168.38 area, we're going to be looking for a move up towards 169. Taking a look at the action on the ES, which is what we watch intraday to trade our stocks. The ES hit a high today of 1680. You can see we're at a potential area of resistance from these highs right here. That high is 1685.75, I believe. ES is still looking pretty decent. Again, we just had a little bit of selling pressure today, nothing too crazy. We are still above these rising, fast-moving averages here, so we're going to keep on using those as those moving averages as a gauge. That rising 8 EMA and that rising 20 EMA right there. Actually, that's a 5 exponential moving average right there. So we have. That was a 5. Sorry, on the previous chart on the SPY, that was actually the blue line was actually an 8-day moving average. So sorry about that. I said 20. All right. So the ES, if it pulls back if we get a pullback on the ES, I'll be looking for a pullback down towards 1660, 1657. We break over 1680. We're going to be looking for that 1685.75. Let's take a look at the triple Qs, the Nasdaq 100 ETF here. You can see the triple Qs. We're still hanging above those 75s, above this previous highs we made right here. We actually made new 52-week highs again today. Again, we're using this little rising 5 EMA as our fast line as a gauge, and we have the little gap right here that could be a target, little gap support down there if we were to pull back in the coming days or coming weeks. Aside from that, market just did a little pullback today. Nothing too crazy to worry about here. A couple of stocks did get hit though today. Take a look at Tesla. I believe they had some report come out of Goldman, and the stock got smashed down pretty hard. This thing could go down to 98.64 which looks like a nice little target for it, which is a rising 50-day simple and exponential moving average down there, which also lines up with that support level right down there near 100. So keep an eye on Tesla. If it sells off tomorrow, that could be an area to get long. Or even if it breaks to 100 and it gets extended on the chart, and you see a little reversal candle, you may want to try to get long that, as it could put a little hammer in tomorrow. So it could probably sell off and then form like a little hammer down there or something. We'll see. Either way, keep the stock on watch. It's in play. We also had some decent action today in the banks. All right, the banks sold off a little bit today. Goldman Sachs was the weakest bank out there. In my opinion, we shorted it, made some decent money on it. That trade's posted on our Facebook page. You can check that out at Wall Street Trading on Facebook or Google+. But banks, financials gapped up. This thing sold off on Goldman Sachs here, gapped up to like the 164 area and sold off. Ugly reversal candlestick right here. Engulfed the prior day's action. We'll see if it takes out today's lows. If it does, we'll be looking for a move possibly back down towards these 156s in the coming days or coming week here. All right, but either way, the financials did show some weakness today. They showed some weakness yesterday on the gap up. They faded them. They showed they gapped them up today again, and some of them got faded to the downside. And some of them kind of held up and just chopped around and did nothing. But aside from that, the banks are weak. Let's go ahead and take a look at a couple of other sectors out there that made some decent action today. If you take a look at the GDX. All right, the GDX, the gold miners were in play today. They had a nice little bounce up. See, the GDX is kind of working its way above this 25 level now with these little higher pivot low bases that have been being made on the stock here. And if we can continue to hold this momentum that we have and hold above 25, we'll be looking for a target up here towards 26.32. You can see we still have some more of that gap fill action up there, which believes me that these gold miners could have a little bit more follow through tomorrow. The strongest one out there, in my opinion, or the best one to trade out there is GG. It was up a little over 5.5% today, and it has a nice little target up towards 29, which is the 100-day moving average, which also lines up with all this little resistance that it has in this area. May even have some resistance from the breakdown that took place at this consolidation right here. All right, and that's right there at let's see what level that is. That's right there on 27.73. So they could gap it up there as well tomorrow morning and try to fade it. Who knows? But this has a nice little tight pattern on it that just broke out today. We'll be looking for at least some type of fall through a little bit tomorrow. So keep an eye on that one. You can also keep an eye on ABX. ABX performed pretty well today. See, ABX was up 6%. So actually, ABX was a little bit stronger, up 6% here. Nice little clean break on this one over this little 3-day high. And this one has some more room to run. It has a gap fill all the way up here around 18 and 17.25 or so. That could be a target if you're looking to bottom pick these miners. SLW, Silver Wheaton, another miner, but a silver miner. You know, all the miners got a bounce today. This one looks pretty good. Looks like it wants to come up and touch this 22 level. It's about 50 cents away, but then if it breaks past that 22 level, it has a nice little target up here towards 25. So definitely some nice momentum in this stock and the sector. It could make this get a nice little move up there towards those 24s. Also, last but not least, Newmont Mining, which is up over 3% today. This one made a nice move. Doesn't look like the best miner out there. That's why I like the other ones better. But this one is breaking its nice little downtrend line right here. I tried to break it today and did finally get a close above this 28 level. Keep an eye on these miners again for tomorrow. See if they try to get some fall through. All right, I forgot to take a look at the IWM for the Russell 2000 index. So let's go ahead and take a look at that as well. Was down 52 cents today. Let's see here. The high today's session, 103.67. So it didn't make a new high. It was off by a penny, but it's still above these rising moving averages, short-term moving averages, which again we're using as a gauge. You can see the IWM has had a nice little steep run up as well. These little gap ups and little shake ups to the top side. So we have to keep a close eye on this index to see if it's going to try to pull back. You don't want to be caught on the wrong side of the trade on the wrong day when you're thinking it's going to get some momentum to the top side. So just know that these indices are up a lot, and it doesn't mean they can't go up higher because they are above their nice little rising moving averages. We want to make sure we keep a clear level head on what's actually going on right now. What we're seeing going on is the financials are starting to show some weakness after these reports are coming out. You take a look at JP Morgan. All right, JP Morgan had a nice little move up today, but then was not able to hold up those gains near those highs. Still looking pretty decent. Just kind of really just trading sideways or less above this 54.50, above this 54.50 area. Bank of America broke past 14 today. We were looking for that move over 14. It nipped its head above 14 by 2 cents and pulled right back in and closed at 13.92. Not much action. They do have earnings coming out tomorrow. Let's see here. They have earnings coming out. What time? Tomorrow before the bell. So we'll be looking for a nice size gap up or gap down in this stock, and this stock will be in play tomorrow. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on Bank of America. Today we had a Yahoo report after the bell. And let me see here how they traded. If I'm not mistaken, the stock sold off. The stock closed at 26.89, and it hit a low of 26, and it's at 26.32 right now. So it's trading somewhere around this area right here. All right. So it's going to be opening up somewhere down here if it stays the same. But Yahoo had earnings after the bell today. Stock will be in play tomorrow. We'll be keeping tabs on that name right there. We'll be watching that one pretty closely. Coca-Cola. This one gave you a nice little opportunity to trade to the top side. We talked about this one in the chat room this morning, highlighting the fact that it was coming right into the 200-day moving average. To be honest with you guys, though, I didn't trade it. I'm not sure if any traders traded it in the room, but we did do some nice analysis on it. We got too caught up focusing on the banks, which ended up turning out pretty well. We were able to short that Goldman Sachs, make about a point and some change on it, and then it went down even more. But so Coca-Cola was in play today. Those are some stocks to watch. The energy sector sold off a bit today. I'm seeing some bids starting to come up in some of these coal names that have been getting beaten up here. CNX, nice little tight pattern right here. All right, and it can make a nice little move to the top side if it breaks past this 20-day moving average. So keep an eye on this one tomorrow. Actually, let's take a look at that 60-minute chart to see if we see any bullish patterns on it. Well, you can see 28.50 is a key level on it, as you guys can see here from this little high that it made. Has not been able to get above 28.50 this whole time here. Tried to get above 28.50 right there, but then failed. Tried right here again today, failed, and we finally got above it in the last hour and a half of trading or so. So keep an eye on this one. This stock holding above 28.50 looks pretty good. See some of the other coal stocks out there. They're trying to shape up a bit, but they're really not having that much traction like CNX is looking like it's going to have. But WLT over 1269 looks pretty good. I'm actually going to put an alert on that right now so I don't miss it. And let's take a look at BTU. What's BTU doing here? BTU was pretty much flat, but this one at the same time that may have some action there if the other coal stock starts to catch a bid. And this is not a big sector. We're just watching it. See this. We get any big institutions out there trying to look for some depressed buys in this sector. We're focusing more on We're focusing more on the technology stocks and some of those other names out there that are in play from earnings and stuff that are giving us some nice cash flow intraday trades. If you take a look at Apple, Apple was up $2.75 today, up a little over half a point. You can see it's starting to hold above this 420 level. The longer it holds above 420, the better it will be, as we are going to be expecting a move up here towards this 440 level from this little congestion we had around here. Let's take a look to see what Amazon did today. All right, Amazon was pretty much flat. Not much action at Amazon. This one's been, on fire for the past 3 weeks or so. All right, may need to wait for these moving averages to catch up a bit on it, or wait for it to pull back a bit, maybe down towards this 295, or maybe, I would say like 295. Get a nice little move up, nice little pullback, a nice little move up. But again, the target on this one on the monthly chart is up here towards 323. And it could hit that. If the momentum stays in the stock, it could hit that target maybe by the end of the month or sometime next month. If you take a look at let me bring the screen over here. If you take a look at the monthly chart, you can see this nice little upward channel in it. And the top of that channel on the monthly is right there at, let's see here, 1 second. It's right there at 323. So there's still a little bit more potential in it. Again, if it just needs to show us that it's going to hold this momentum up here. And again, it may need to cool off a bit and trade sideways or pull back a bit to, get some more momentum before it makes a move to the top side. Aside from that, guys, decent day today. We had some great call-outs, short Goldman Sachs. Some traders on the desk got short Tesla. Some traders were trading the gold miners. Some people were trading GameStop in the last hour. Some decent action out there. If you want to see what we do, you want to make sure you tune into our Facebook page, Wall Street Trading. We're on Google Plus as well if you don't have a Facebook. And you can also check out our website, Wall Street Trading. And then we have our live online intraday trading room for active traders, experienced or newbies. You're more than welcome to come in at mywallstreettv.com. The password to log in is SMART, SMART. Have a great day, folks. Catch you guys tomorrow morning at 8:30. Cheers.